So we've made it pretty clear that sustainability is a big focus for us at Eleos, and we've had a few questions now about what we're looking at on this front and what suggestions we would have for others. We've decided therefore to create a few videos on this topic to share what we're doing, which maybe some of you will find helpful.
Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about ethical and sustainable purchasing because we believe that this is a really simple change that companies and actually individuals can make in order to spend their money more wisely.
Vote with your wallet, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So we think there are 3 key points to consider. 1, is the product you are selecting the most environmentally friendly option of its type? 2, who are you planning to buy it from? And 3, do we really need it? As a services company, we have quite an easy run with this. We don't really consume that much in terms of product, and where we do, these items tend to be things like stationery, office and shipping supplies, and packaging materials. Ethical and sustainable purchasing is naturally a much more complicated endeavour for our manufacturers, but given our sustainability focus and the ease of implementation for us in this respect, we took this decision to have a robust policy in place for purchasing, just to ensure that we are selecting the most sustainable products from the most ethical and sustainable vendors.
Making a shift along those lines and away from purchasing decisions being based primarily on the cost-quality ratio took a little time and research, and actually it's still an ongoing journey for us. I still don't have a good alternative to the plastic envelopes for holding the shipping paperwork, but we're documenting what we learn, and we've compiled a table of approved suppliers and vendors, etc., so we don't have to revisit this again too regularly.
Yeah, obviously price is also a factor, and this does play a part in our purchasing decisions. However, only once our key criteria have been considered. So we found that although the ethical, sustainable options can be more expensive, by reducing consumption in the first place, we've got more budget available to make the right choices on the things that we need.
So firstly, on the is this product the most environmentally friendly version point, I think there are 2 factors here. 1, is this product the most environmentally friendly version, as in the case of using sustainably recycled or eco-friendly carbon neutral paper rather than regular copy paper? And 2, is there a more sustainable option to solve the need that the product is intended to fulfill? Like maybe an example here is something like highlighter pens. While it's useful sometimes to highlight text in printed work, it's more sustainable to use a coloured pencil, or better still, don't print out the work at all and use a digital highlighter instead.
Yeah, and on top of that, when choosing who and where we buy from, it's important to consider whether we support what the company or vendor stands for and whether we think they are playing their part in cleaning up the mess we're all in. If you don't support the destruction of the rainforest, for example, then don't buy products from companies that profit from that activity. And that means taking care to find out who a company actually is.
All of this kind of information is there to be found if you care to look. We quite like the Ethical Consumer website, as you can see how companies score across a number of areas such as ethos, environmental, political, animal welfare and HR policies. And there are other sites also. There are also some great benchmarking organisations like B Corp and Economy for the Common Goods, where you can find those companies that are really taking their ESG considerations very seriously.
Yeah, and purchasing through Likeminded Vendors is also really helpful. It's easier to actually find the more sustainable items that you're looking for, and it's easier to avoid being distracted by things that sound cool but are actually totally unsustainable. If, for example, we go to the website of Britain's biggest office supplier, you're immediately presented with free gift offers, which encourages you to add things to your basket that you really don't want.
Yeah, this month's free offer, for example, is a large bag of plastic wrapped chocolate, like the majority of chocolate made from unsustainably sourced palm oil. Maybe it's a bit killjoy to boycott eating chocolate entirely. However, people visiting that site are looking for paper and toner. You don't really need a big bag of chocolates thrown in, but I think when it's advertised as a free gift, it's hard to resist just adding it to your cart.
Yeah, and we just need to remember that free gifts are not really free. Someone somewhere is paying the price, and ultimately we're all paying the price in terms of the negative impact to our shared environment of too many people having too many things.
Mm-hmm. We currently buy our office supplies from an independent called the Green Office Company. Not only do they not push us to buy things that we weren't after in the first place, but they offer a huge range of greener and more sustainable options and provide advice on why to choose those options. But there are other good, more ethical retailers out there too.
Yeah, so on to the third point that we raised earlier now. Do we really need it?
Maybe that's the most important one, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So with a huge amount of purchasing, it's extremely easy to get suckered into buying things that look cool and maybe we're even used to using. However, whether we actually need them is more questionable.
easier for us at Eleos, as Ellie has to sign up on the purchasing decisions, and he's a bit miserly with money for such a young guy.
Yeah, that he is. What we always try to consider here is, do we really need what we're buying? Is there a tangible negative impact if I go without having it, for example? And then looping back to the first point, do we really need this actual thing, or would another sustainable option suffice?
So essentially here at Eleos, we've compiled a table of all the products we need and then ran each item through the key points we mentioned. This serves as our referencing point for purchasing decisions and helps us to avoid getting drawn into special offers or buying less sustainable options or things that we just don't really need. Over time, we'll be looking further through our supply chain at more of the services that we use. However, consumables is really a nice straightforward starting point for us. Maybe it could be fuel soon.